Hello, gorgeous flower pots. It's your Auntie Nelly. It's Wednesday night. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for night time with Nelly. How are we all? Are we all okay? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Give me a like. Give me a love. Give me a share. I just want to say, how long is my hair? It was cut to here. Look at that. Once again, because I've gone back dark and I'm not having it bleached, it's just going really long again. Good evening, everybody. Where are you watching me from? What are you doing with this evening besides watching me? If you follow me on Instagram, Antonella Uncensored, you'll see I'm back in that there gym. And I'm in the middle of having my house decorated. What a good idea. What a good idea. Let's get the decorators in. And the house is an absolute tip, as you can appreciate. Some of the walls can be lined and painted. A lot of the walls have to be completely skimmed, plastered and start afresh from. So all I've got at the moment is dust everywhere and everything's everywhere. I've got living room pictures up here in the bedroom. I've got all the stuff from the living room in the kitchen, all the kitchen stuff somewhere else. Everything's everywhere. So that is playing havoc with my anxiety. But good evening. I'm taking time out from the stress and the dust and the worry. And I thought I'd come and do a bit of nighttime with Nelly. So if you want to feature on any of the nighttime with Nellies that I do on a Wednesday here live on the page at 9 p.m, then please write into the page. So write in for nighttime with Nelly or for Sunday service or for any product requests. Now then, how long is my hair? Look at that. I didn't realise how long it got. Isn't it nice? Nice. So yes, so I'm in the middle of home improvements. So I've got my gorgeous next door neighbour in, as we all know, our Roy, and we all love Roy. So he's been here. He is my decorator and he is the best in the business. If anybody in the Rosendale Valley wants a little bit of Roy, then let me know and I'll hook you up. So, nighttime with Nelly. I've retrieved all the messages using a new software program, and I really don't know if I've retrieved the right things. Absolutely. Somebody just said, don't stress, it'll be worth it when it's done. Absolutely, it certainly will. And it'll be absolutely splendid and lovely. And Roy's so good because he knows I'm colourblind, so he's advising me on colours. And advising me what's going to look well, etc. So there we go. It's just, it is what it is. You've got to do 10 jobs before you do the job you want doing. And then it's just all messy while you're having it done. Good evening, Vanessa Worthington. I believe you're making a cake. Will there be some at R&D headquarters tomorrow for me to sample? So, like I said, all anonymous, no idea what I've retrieved, but let's get going with tonight's nighttime with Nelly. Let's go. Let me know where you're watching me from. Give me a like, give me a love, and give me a share. Stevie Edmonds says, does Roy want to come to my house? Well, I don't know. Why don't you ask him? Eh? Why don't you ask him? He does do home visits. Now then, dear Auntie Nelly, I don't want to still be a virgin when I turn 40, which is next month. Some escort websites look good, but then I change my mind and decide I want to lose it with a good friend, with someone I know. The thing is, I am just 4 inches when erect, and I think that would put women off. I wondered about buying a sex toy, but it's not the same, is it? Can you help? So we've got a gentleman here who's about to turn the big 4-0 and he's still a virgin. He wants to lose his virginity, but he's not sure about using escort sites and he's not sure about using a sex toy. He'd much prefer to use it with, right, a sex toy. Right, as in like a plastic vagina, one of those silicone things, or a fleshlight, do you mean? I thought you meant I'm either going to use an escort and lose my virginity, have a friend do it with me, or because I've only got a small cock, use a sex toy on the person that I'm shagging, which then you wouldn't lose your virginity with anyway. But I now know what you mean. Okay. So, if you use a sex toy, then no, that's not the same, is it? Is put. No, it's not. It's not the same as losing your virginity if you use a sex toy, whether that be a blow-up doll, a fleshlight, a silicone vagina, one of them fucking dolls that you can pay thousands of pounds for and give it a name. No, it's not the same. Escort sites, as long as they're credited and, you know, you've done the background checks and it's all done consensual and it's done safe, that's fine. But you've got to nearly 40 without losing your virginity. Is it really because of the size of your cock? Or is it because you haven't found that special someone? Because whether you're 18, 25 or nearly 40, do you not want to lose your virginity with somebody that you're in a romantic relationship with, someone that you can build on a friendship with, someone that you can build a relationship with and then maybe move on to having sex with them, which would be making love because you're being in a loving relationship. So I really do think that you should maybe start dating. Don't let the size of your cock put you off, because women really don't care, okay, about the size of a cock in respect to most women. It really is about the gent and how gentlemanly you are and how nice you are to the person. When it comes to activities of sexual pleasure, there's lots of things you can do that would fulfill your partner if you don't think you're fulfilling her, okay? So yes, what do I think? Is it the same with a sex toy? Absolutely not. Should you have an escort? Only if they're credited and you know they're safe. But yes, I would certainly, you've got nearly to 40 years old without losing your virginity. I wouldn't rush it now. Certainly start going out there, you know, meeting people, dating people, and don't let the fact that you've got a 4-inch cock put you off. You will find a lady who it won't even matter to because she'll love you for you, okay? I think if you're fucking her all night though with a 4-inch cock and she's not having that much of a great time, and then you kiss her at morning with a 10-inch dong, I think that's a bit cruel. So, you know, there's other ways that we can still enjoy that fulfillment without it actually being something that's weighing you down or really, really being heavy on your mind and making you think that maybe you'll disappoint somebody. Absolutely not. So it's not about the size, it's what you do with it. And sometimes I always say that, you know, there's lots more things that can be done in the bedroom. As long as everybody's having fun and it's consensual, it'll be absolutely fine. Okie dokie, let's move on. I thought he meant like buy a sex toy for woman because he weren't right big. That's what I thought he meant, and I am quite tired tonight, so on with the next one. Let's see what we get there. Dear Auntie Nelly, I got an anonymous message on Facebook saying, ask your husband about his other woman. I'm devastated. He has cheated before but vowed never to do so again. Oh, the little tinker. My husband swears he is faithful. I want to believe him and have no suspicions, unlike last time. I have no idea who sent the message. Should I try to forget all about it? I can't spend my future with him if he has cheated again. We don't have sex as I am disabled, but he said that was okay. Now I don't know what to think. Okay, so your husband's cheated on you in the past and now you decided to sort that out whichever way, and you've continued on in your marriage and there's trust there and you love each other. Who is this person that sent this message on Facebook? Are they there just trying to cause trouble? Or has it now sparked something inside you? Is your gut now going into overflow and telling you things and you're thinking, actually. So you've actually gone to him and said, listen, someone said I should ask you about this. And he said, I'm not cheating. You're not having sex. And you've said that he said it's fine that you're in a sexless marriage because you are a disabled lady. And that's fine if that's a compromise or some sort of thing that you've decided between yourselves. But I often think that there's no smoke without fire. I often think that there's reason why, you know, people do like to go out the way to upset other people and to, you know, make sure that other people's lives are a living hell. Some people are like that. So I would definitely investigate a little bit, but always trust your gut instinct. You'll never go far wrong if you trust your gut. And I think the fact that he's cheated before would make me question this lady on Facebook. If there's been no cheating and no cause for alarm, then you can dismiss it and move on. But I really do think that you should certainly look into that. Now, you say you don't have sex because you're a disabled lady. Are you still being intimate with your partner? Is your partner still being intimate with you? Okay, you may not be able to do penetration, but is there still things that you're doing that you would do only with your husband, and he would only do with you as his wife, that he won't do with next door neighbour? Because it's about keeping that intimacy between you regardless of penetration. And I think if you've still got the intimacy and you're still acting like a couple would in other ways, then that's probably why you've had no cause for concern. But just take a step back, listen to your gut, have a look at strange behaviours, maybe past behaviours, and have a look and make sure that he actually isn't cheating and it's just somebody who's got it out for him or you. It could even be somebody from the past cheat that's just not happy that he cheated and now you're back together and you're happy. So there's a lot that's going on here. And I want to say once a cheat, always a cheat, but sometimes people can surprise us and toe the line. Doesn't often happen, but I'd say 1% can. Let's hope your husband is in that 1%. Moving on. Dear Auntie Nelly, I am happily married but addicted to porn and to sex chat lines. I have swapped videos and messages with strangers and my wife has now found out. But I think it's her fault, number one, for looking, and number two, if she had been doing this for a few years, No, I think number one for looking and number two, it's her fault anyway. All right, okay. I've been doing this for a few years and tried to stop, but it's very hard. My wife is very upset and she has threatened to leave with our 2 little boys. I promised it was the first and only time, but she must take some responsibility too. We are in our 20s, but have sex just 2 or 3 times a week. This just isn't enough for me. That's why it's her fault. Right. Oh, I didn't know why it were her fault then. In my country, relationships outside the marriage are not okay. I dream of living in an open European society where I can do what I choose. Please help. Okay, so I just want to say that regardless of what country you dream of living in, it's usually not okay. It's usually not okay to have outside relations, okay? I mean, I'm just giving that out there. I'm just throwing it out there in the universe, but it's usually not okay to have extracurricular relationship activity with somebody who's not your wife, okay? Number one. Number two, it's her fault that you're addicted to porn and sex phone lines because she only has sex with you 2 times, maybe 3 a week. I would say that's more than the average. Most couples here within the United Kingdom, I don't know which European country you dream of, but here within the United Kingdom, it's actually average for a married heterosexual couple in their 30s to be having bedroom Olympics around about 3 to 5 times a month. So the fact that you're doing it 2 to 3 times a week is above average. Have you ever thought, when you said you've got 2 little boys, have you thought your wife's absolutely knackered? She's knackered. Do you help her out with the chores? Do you help her out with the boys? Do you ever give her time to herself? Time where she can do a bit of a pamper, bit of time to herself so she can relax, enjoy the evening? Do you take her out on dates? Do you know what I mean? What are you doing to make her feel loved and desired? And I don't think you're doing much of that, sweetheart, because you're too busy on your porn and you're too busy on your chat lines. You dream of a land where, in Europe, where it's okay to have extra relationships. Why don't you leave your wife alone? Why don't you be honest? You're not happy in this marriage, and she probably isn't. So why don't you leave your wife alone with her little boys? You visit them, you pay for them, you keep them in the lifestyle they've become accustomed to. And why don't you fuck off somewhere and live one of those polyamorous relationships where you can have sex probably 7 times a week, once a day, in whichever fucking country you want to, as long as it's consensual. But usually when we start on a path of what I call destruction, which is wanting lots and lots of different partners and sex on a daily basis, that fades. It all fades, okay? And then you're left quite a lonely old man. So it's entirely up to you. Actually work on your marriage now. Make your wife happy and appreciate what you've got between you. Build on that. Try and find some sort of compromise and explain your feelings, and don't lie and don't blame her. You've got to take a lot of ownership and responsibility here. And if you can't do that, then yeah, off you fuck flower. Hashtag bye Felicia. It's nobody's fault but your own. So either sort your shit out under your roof you're living with now, or go off and chase your dreams. But I do find and I do think that you'll be a very lonely old man. And your wife will probably meet somebody who will appreciate her for the lovely woman that she is, the caring mother, the loving partner. And she'll live a really nice, happy life, having sex maybe 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 5. And she won't be lonely in her old days because she'll have a lovely little boys who'll be then grown men who she'll have brought up with love and respect, and they'll learn to also respect women, which is something that I'm getting from this message that you don't. You don't. So they could actually probably be a little bit better off without you. Moving on. My lover and I meet for... What? Dear Auntie Nelly, my lover and I meet for sex most weeks. Oh, it is great sex. Only sex though, and nothing else. We've been meeting like this for 5 years now. Fucking hell. Will he develop feelings for me, or is he just using me? Well, after 5 years, I'd have probably had that conversation already. But anyway, let's keep reading. She has said 5 years, hasn't she? Not 5 months. Yeah, 5 years. We first met when he was installing a new IT system at our factory. I'm the floor manager. My now lover and I hit it off. Very good. There was a lot of sexual chemistry. Very good. He's well travelled because of his job, and he says his wife, oh my God, he's married, another cheating cunt. His wife turns a blind eye because she enjoys the lifestyle that he provides. I wouldn't even be happy with a fucking gold-plated toilet seat, thinking, oh, well, it don't matter that my husband goes shagging around because I've got a gold-plated toilet seat. What kind of lifestyle is he providing that she's fucking happy with, that would make anyone go, I'm not arsed if he's dipping his fucking dick in her in office. I'm not arsed because look at my sugar pot. Look at my fucking milk jug. What the fuck could he be providing that would be, I don't know, that would be sufficient enough for you to stay in a marriage? What the fuck is he providing? Anyway, moving on. I've locked my phone. It's open now, yeah. So she's happy because he's providing a lifestyle. Very good. We ended up having a break due to lockdown, of course. Well, of course, yeah. A lot of people who were having affairs no longer could continue the affair in lockdown, and quite a lot of people struggled with that. Okay, but now we're back to normal. But after all these years, it's only sex. I don't know, and he hasn't said whether he's sex starved at home. My husband and I don't really have sex anymore. Oh, so you've got a husband as well. So he's got a wife who's happy with her fucking milk jug, and she's not asked where he's dipping his wick because she's got fucking Cape de Monte sat on fucking fireplace. And you're married. Smashing. So my husband and I don't really have sex anymore, and he would be gutted if he knew. But I suppose I try not to think about that because I'd miss my nights out so much. Is my lover just using me? Please help. Sounds to me like, really, that you're kind of just using each other. Have you ever thought of this, though? Have you ever thought, like, if you weren't shagging this IT fella that you've been shagging for 5 years, and you actually put those nights out and that bit of energy and that bit of sexiness and that bit of spark in your marriage, you might be having a bit of sex with your husband and he might not actually be gutted if he was to find out. Do you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes I think it's all right looking at the grass because you think it's greener, but we often find out it was just fucking astroturf. So unless you're watering your own fucking plants, it's going to be shit, isn't it? So you've told me this big scenario that you've been having sex with this IT man, is he just using you? When actually you're married and he's married, so you're just using each other for sexual purposes. Does he have feelings for you? I don't fucking know, because I'm not septic peg. But the only feelings I think you've got for each other is lust. And that doesn't make a happy marriage or a happy relationship. You need so much more than lust to make it work, to tick all the boxes. And your poor husband, doesn't he deserve better? If his wife sat at home and she's quite happy with her eternal bow fucking kitchen set, she's happy with that, let them crack on with that. For all you know, she's not happy. She doesn't know. You're just listening to what he's telling you. And you're doing the exact same. You're watering the plants over the other side of the fence rather than looking after your own. So I'd say you either work on your marriage with your husband and stop seeing the IT man and hope that you can salvage whatever it was that got together in your first place. So start romancing each other again, start having date nights, you know, whatever it may be. And hopefully, you know, you can get your marriage back on track and be happy. If you don't want to do that, no, I don't think the IT man does love you, sweetheart, because he's spinning you an absolute fucking yarn like he's spinning his wife one. Okay. He's probably right happily married and shags her 3 times a week, sweetheart. You're just that bit on the side. No wonder she turns a blind eye and is happy in her life. She don't fucking know about it. She don't know about it. You're going nowhere with the IT man. If he wanted you, he'd have had you within 5 years. He doesn't want you. So either sort your marriage out, work on that, by fucking him off, or fuck your husband off and carry on being used by the IT man, which are using each other, and let your husband go off and find somebody who won't cheat on him and will appreciate him and will love him. Okay? That's what I always say. I mean, affairs do happen, the eyes do wander, and we do see other people who we think, oh, he's a bit of alright, she's a bit of alright, and we can all window shop, but the minute it goes to that next step level, and we really do make that decision, because all decisions have consequences, is it not the right time to tell your partner that and let them have some happiness? You're chasing your happiness. Would that not be the right time to tell your partner so at least they can make the decision to stay with you or not? Yeah? I just think, you know, as much as it's going to hurt your husband or your wife or your partner, whatever, is it not better to be truthful? Yeah? Yeah, 5 years. 5 fucking years. Oh my God, we've got fucking War and Peace. Are we ready? Dear Auntie Nelly, my wife and I have enjoyed threesomes for more than 20 years. Okay. The best threesomes we've ever had are with my ex. When we split up, we agreed to keep meeting for sex. I'm 53 and my beautiful wife turns 50 this year, and as a birthday treat, I'm taking her to Greece. She's 62, my ex, and has recently married. I'm planning a fabulous trip with my wife, loads of sun, wine and sex. Oh, the one worry is that my ex's new husband, who lives in Greece with her, does not like threesomes or foursomes at all. All right. He's not keen on his wife having sex with others, so we would have to be discreet. We are renting a villa not far from their home, and the plan is for her to visit us. Her husband is 65 and is really set in his ways. It's a shame he isn't relaxed about threesomes, because her last husband was. Oh God, we have only met for a threesome once since they wed last year, and I was worried she had changed. The sex just didn't work out. In fact, it seemed like I was causing her pain. We had paid all the costs for the villa and the pool, and I'm starting to feel a bit tense. It would be so disappointed if my ex isn't into the whole threesome scene like she was. It would spoil my wife's big birthday treat. What can I do? Oh my fucking God. Right, so you had a girlfriend, you split up, you got your new girlfriend, but you decided that you were still having sex with your ex-girlfriend. You got married, you were still having sex with your ex-girlfriend then as a threesome. She's now got married and she lives in Greece. So you're going over to Greece for your wife's 50th and going seeing your ex who's now 62, but he's also married again, but he's not into threesomes. He don't want to share his wife. And you're upset that this is going to spoil your wife's 50th. Right. Let's be clear about one thing here. Absolutely fine if you're into threesomes, foursomes, swinging, whatever fucking rocks your boat. As long as you're leaving animals and kids alone, I don't really give a shit. But is this really a birthday treat for your wife? Is this your wife's 50th birthday treat? Because it sounds to me like it's you that wants the fucking treat. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, gone are the days, I suppose, in your life where you would buy somebody a diamond necklace, some diamond earrings, a nice meal out, a bunch of flowers. I wouldn't want somebody to sort of put all their eggs in one basket for my 50th, the fact that his ex might not want to have sex with us. What kind of birthday thing is that? To me, it doesn't sound like a treat. It doesn't sound like something nice and romantic and loving for your partner to appreciate her birthday. And the fact that your ex didn't enjoy it last time, she's 62. She's probably menopausal. She's probably got vaginal dryness. It's not pleasant at my age, so I can't appreciate it's pleasant at 62. People change, times move on. You know, bodies start to sag a bit. Things don't quite hang where they used to. You know, she might not fancy you now. Do you know what I mean? Lots of things change. She might actually think, I've done my swinging days. I might have done it in past for a bit of a favour, but it's no longer for her. So go to Greece, enjoy your holidays, but why don't you concentrate on actually giving your wife the birthday treat of her life, the big 5-0, and just spend it between you two. And if you do fancy a bit of a threesome or a foursome or whatever the fuck you fancy, then why don't you do that on a night that's not a treat? Because it sounds to me like she's having a birthday, but you're eating fucking cake. Okay? Well, I hope I've helped you with that. I don't know. I mean, you've paid all that fucking money for a fucking pool and a villa and all that, and that's ever so lovely. But you've only done that so you can go over and shag your ex. I mean, was she that fucking good? What a lot of money you've just spent. Okie dokie, dear Auntie Nelly, I have a boyfriend. Nobody likes a fucking show-off flower. But I don't know if he really is my boyfriend. Or is it one of them surprise ones? Like he's my boyfriend. I used to have a boyfriend at Tesco's. I didn't know him my boyfriend. It were a surprise. Never got to surprise him, actually. I think he caught wind that I fancied him and started going to a different Tesco's. Anyway, I have a boyfriend, but I don't know if he really is my boyfriend, as he only ever texts me for sex. Oh, heck. I get messages from him saying, do you fancy it? Oh, and I thought romance were dead. I thought romance were fucking dead. But no, he texts you and says, do you fancy it? I mean, if you text me and ask me if I fancied it, do you fancy it? I fancy probably a wedding cake right now because I'm lacking sugar. A 3-tier wedding cake, or even a chocolate fudge cake, or some tiramisu, a chocolate eclair, some jelly babies, a terrace chocolate orange. Don't ever ask me what I fancy because the list will be quite long. You'll think that I've texted you my fucking Tesco shop. Anyway, moving on. Let's go back to this one. He's got a boyfriend, but not really. Okay, do you fancy it? And because I really fancy him, I say yes. So he comes round and I open the wine and then we have sex. Well, I'm really pleased that you've just said I open the wine and not my legs. You probably do, don't you? So you open the wine, then you open your legs. Okay. He always makes an excuse after and says he has to go. So I haven't even spent the night with my boyfriend. Do you know why? Probably because he's not your boyfriend. But let's move on. Then I won't hear from him for like nearly 5 days. Then it's just the same old text again. How can I make him more committed? Okay, so you've got a boyfriend, but you don't know if he's your boyfriend. And he says, do you fancy it? And you do fancy it because you fancy him. And then he comes round and then you open the wine and you open your legs and you have sex and then off he fucks because he's got to pick up his these are the excuses they make. Oh, I'm going to have to go. I'm up early in the morning. I've got nothing for work, or I've got to get me lunch ready, or I've got to pick work's van up, but I've got to go home first, get my car, drop it off. And they say all sorts of shite. And you know why they say all sorts of shite like that? Because they're either, and this is going to sound brutally honest, but he's either got a girlfriend, a wife, or he's just not that fucking into you. Okay? And sometimes we have to accept that people are just not that into us. And just because they have sex with us doesn't actually mean they want to be seen out in the cold daylight and public with us. And what is that thing that they say? Is it friends with benefits? Is it a booty call? What is it? What is it what we call? What is it we call it? But if he has got a girlfriend or a wife, he could just say, "Oh, I'm going out, love, tonight, and pricing a job." Anyway, yeah, so how can I make him more committed? How about the next time he texts, says, "Do you fancy it?" Say, "No, sorry, sweetheart, not tonight, I'm out." Why don't you be a little bit more hot, play harder to get, and then see if he does actually approach you again and say, "Look, I don't fancy that, but if you wanted to come round for a meal, or you want to meet out for a drink, or you want to go out in public, then that's fine. Let me know when you're free." But no. So that's what I would do. I would now not be accessible for sex, but try and put him in a position where he may have to, if he wanted to see you in a different way. But I have got a sneaky suspicion he's either married or got a bird. One or the other. It's one or the other. Yeah. Rather than he's just not that into you, because that sounds just sounds a bit harsh, and it's going to make you feel like you're not going to be wanted by others. It's not that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Men will come round and have sex with you if you allow them to. Okay, so next time you get the text of, "Do you fancy it?" "No, sweetheart, I'm washing my hair and I'm out with girls. I'm over at my mum's, not tonight." And see. And from that, if all he wants from you is sex, if that's all he wants, believe me, you start saying no, he'll not contact you again, and then you know where the land lies. So, is he your boyfriend? Probably not at the minute. Is he going to be your boyfriend? Probably not. "Dear Auntie Nelly, okay, so my boyfriend wanted to try something different, and now I don't know how I feel about it." Oh, Christ on a bike. "One night I told him to put my panties on and put on a bright red lipstick. Oh. Then I asked him to fuck me. Oh, it was incredible and we both enjoyed it. In fact, he enjoyed it so much he went and bought some panties of his own to wear." Oh, you've opened Pandora's box there, haven't you? Okie dokie. I think it's okay to spice things up now and then, but he wants to wear them all the time and I don't mind. But it seems I've opened Pandora's box, because he's now saying he wants me to call him a girl's name whilst having sex and tell him he's a dirty little slut. This wasn't really my intention, and even though I don't mind, I don't know how far this is going to go. How do I tell him this without upsetting him? So I think you have opened Pandora's box there, and that's fine. So for the moment, it is a case of he likes to wear a pair of panties, he's got a bit of red lipstick on, and it's role play, it's games in the bedroom, whichever way you want to go with it. And it's once again about not doing anything we don't feel comfortable with. So you keep saying in your message with, it's okay, I'm okay with that, but I'm a little bit worried, where is it going to go? Ask him where it's going to go. Ask him and just say, "Look, I absolutely love that. It was fantastic sex. It was such fun, and it's okay to try different things. But I'm a little bit worried because you went out and bought your own knickers. So are you wearing them to work or what? Or is it just in bedroom? I mean, you want me to call you Doris now? Where is this going?" Just ask him and just say, "Because these are my boundaries and I don't mind this, but that I do mind, I'm uncomfortable with." So he's going to push that now because you've opened up a new feeling of emotions, a new feelings of erotic feelings for him. And he's going to push those boundaries because you're going, well, it's okay. Oh, well, it's okay. If it's not okay, you need to be saying it's okay. You need to be fucking reining him in a bit. So you need to say to him, "I don't mind you wearing my knickers. I don't mind calling you Sheila. I don't mind you wearing my fucking MAC lipstick and having French nails," whatever it is. But then this is not okay. So it's all about, once again, investigating with our partner what our boundaries are, what's acceptable and what's not. And it sounds to me like you've got a good relationship, you're quite open with each other. I mean, trying to get a fella into a pair of panties who has never even thought about that. Wow, well done. And that sort of like might have stirred a different kind of thing as you, because it's good. It's good to explore different things within your sex life. It's good, it keeps it fresh and healthy. But once we start doing things that we don't feel comfortable with, then that's not fresh and healthy. And we start sort of creating sort of where we're having to do things we don't feel comfortable with, and then there comes bitterness and resentment, and it goes nowhere. So rather than spoiling what you've got, which sounds like a really fun, loving relationship, why don't we sit down now and just say, look, I love this, I think it's really good fun, but this is as far as I want it to go. How do you feel about that? And he may turn around and say, yeah, it were only a bit of a laugh and a joke, yeah, that's fine, once in a blue moon. Or he may say, do you know what? I fucking love it, I can't get enough of it, I'm going to go and get some fucking suspenders. I'm going to go to a fucking bar Friday night dressed as Dorothy. You need to be having the conversation. You need to be having the conversation, and you need to have it sooner rather than later. And it sounds to me like you can do that and it'll be okay, whatever the response is. But is it not better to find out now rather than later? Okay, my boyfriend, Auntie Nelly. Everyone's got a fucking boyfriend. I'm having a bit of a menopausal moment. I'm having one of my hot flushes. My thermostat's just fucking gone off. Oh, it's hot, isn't it? Oh, fuck me, it's hot. And fucking Storm, what's she called? Storm Ellen's on her way. Whatever that means. But yeah, who makes the names up for the fucking storms? There should be a fucking Storm Nelly. Whew, God, I'm fucking hot. I'm really, really fucking hot. And I'm sweating. And I'm damp in places. And dry in other places. In fact, it's just like the perfect temperature really here. It's perfect conditions for a bushfire. But moving on. My boyfriend doesn't understand me, Antonelli. He doesn't understand instructions or isn't interested in what I want from sex. Our sex life is absolutely shit. We have sex most nights, but it's still shit. She's putting shit in capital letters as well. I constantly tell him what turns me on in bed. I tell him I like having my ears nibbled, my neck licked, and my nipples rubbed. And I loved being kissed when we first met. He would kiss me all the time, but now he doesn't kiss me at all. And he loved this too, but now nothing. He just gets on, pumps a few times, grunts, squirts, and then it's good night Vienna. Why won't he just do what I want? So, none of us come with an instruction manual. It'd be great if we did, but we don't. So it is something that I would always advise that, you know, either in the bedroom while you're doing your Olympics to actually push them in different directions, put the hand in that special place, or say, kiss my ear, lick my ear, whatever. And you've done all that, and that's great. That's great that you've been able to do that. But if he's not actually satisfying your needs, then why not? Why not? Because that man that wanted to lay on top of me for 2 pumps and a fucking squirt and then thinks I'm sleeping at fucking damp patch all night, he can get fucked. The minute he wants to then approach you for sex, which isn't obviously to me sounding very romantic or loving, and it's all right to have that quick 2 pumps and a squirt sometimes. Everybody fancies a quickie sometimes. It's okay. But this is happening to you because you're allowing it to. And we only have things happen to us that we allow. So the longer you let this go on, the longer it's going to happen. So the next time he approaches you and sticks his hard cock in your back or wherever, no, not tonight, sweetheart. Oh, why not? Well, I'll tell you why not. Because you know I like to kiss. You know I like to have my ears nibbled. You know I like my nipples rubbed. And all you do is climb on 2 pumps and a squirt. Well, I'll tell you what, fuck off, climb off the bed, go to the bathroom, have a wank, put it in a tissue, flush it down and leave me the fuck alone. I think sometimes we've got to go in with a sledgehammer approach because you've tried the other approach. You've told him what you liked. You know, it's not a commitment that you have to have sex every night. Your sex life is shit. So unless he's willing to change that, and by listening to you and listening to what it is that turns you on, and spending that little bit more time making you feel loved and making you feel special, making you feel wanted, a little bit of foreplay, which is the kissing, the ear nibbling, whatever else, then no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're not a fucking slot machine that just lays there and he slots it in as and when he fucking pleases. No, tell him it's no longer acceptable and you're feeling used, you're not having a nice time, your sex life is shit. Just be honest with him and tell him. If you don't tell him, he's not going to know. So if you keep allowing that to happen, then that's going to continue to happen because you allow it to happen. Yeah? Okay. So tonight's nighttime with Nellies have not been as rude and disgusting as usual. So hasn't that been nice? Because I think last week we had a wanker and a chicken fucker. So, yeah, I never know what I'm going to read until I read my messages out. They are all off the cuff, my answers. And I don't know what I'm going to retrieve. But I've really enjoyed tonight's nighttime with Nelly. And I hope you lot have as well. So give me a like, give me a love, give me a share. And I'll see you soon with a new review. And if not, I'll see you for Sunday service. How's that sound? So, yeah, tonight has been quite strong language and a talk of sexual nature throughout. But I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm now going to go and get some very much needed beauty sleep. Please follow me on Instagram, @Uncensored, where you see the day in the life of your Auntie Nelly. And you'll also catch maybe a glimpse of our Roy next door. All fucking 7'3" of him. And you'll see all the decorating taking place. So good night and God bless. And I'll see you all soon, flower pots. Take care and take care of you. Take care of each other.